All right, Shalom. Before I start, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachach, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, peace, blessings, and salutations to all the like Akim wa Akwath, learning, teaching, truth, and sincerity. Another video to the spirit, your brother Malak from GMS Detroit. This one right here, hey, it's so-called Black History Month, but guess what? Everybody hates you. You know, the entire world is set against the Israelites, and in particular here in the Western world, because of Esau Edom's media machine, the so-called white man. He set up an entire campaign, a slew against specifically the southern tribes, right? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, those who look as what they call obviously black, right? You are hated from the moment you wake up, take a step out the door, until you lay down, go to sleep, and eventually die. And at the same time, you know, motherfuckers wish they could be you, right? And replicate you. You know, the sick dynamic that Esau has us under here in this world. Now, you know, it's so-called February and, you know, so-called Black History Month, right? They tell you, you know, be happy, you have a month now. There's, you know, equality, all that good stuff, but you're still treated like shit. There's still laws in place to keep you impoverished. There's still enforcers that come and enforce these laws upon you, right? You're still the descendant of a slave. You still have a legacy of pain and suffering all the day long. And even with all that, everybody kicks you while you're down. So I got some clips just to show you. You know, it might be Black History Month, but I can't tell shit. And this is a part of the curses. Our reputation being had in low estate and being dogged and treated like shit is a part of the curses, which is one of the signs to let us know that we are the Israelites. Start with this.
Of enslaved chefs and cooks.
My research for my master's thesis talks about enslaved cooks from Charleston.
The chief instructor at the Culinary Institute of Charleston stirs emotions as he adds ingredients to this one-pot dish. Listen as he explains what enslaved people did to prove they were not eating their master's food.
So there's stories of this thing called the whistling walk, where enslaved would come from a main kitchen and they would be carrying food in their hand, and as they're carrying this food in their hand, they have to whistle. The whistling in the eyes of the slaveholder means that because you're whistling, you don't have the time, or you can't eat my food. I had always been interested in like the history of African Americans and cooking and what they cook.
Of enslaved
Did y'all
chefs
know
and
about
cooks.
that?
My research.
Did y'all know about that one? You had to prove to master that you weren't eating his good white food, so you better be whistling, boy. All right, did y'all know about that? The whistling walk. Just like the Negro nod. I did a video on that some years ago. Negroes would look at each other in the times of slavery and, you know, Jim Crow, black codes, right? And would simply nod at each other as a form of, you know, I'm doing okay. We gonna make it through the day. We just gotta keep going. Every part of society here in this country, in America and specifically, is drenched in our blood, our mistreatment, and our oppression. Literally something as simple as cooking. This is the type of history that the so-called white man is trying his damnedest to bury, and he cannot. And even now, this guy right here, right, he's a normal guy in the world. He doesn't have hate in his heart. He doesn't have a chip on his shoulder. He's just a black man that loves to cook. And he decided to do some, you know, some history looking into cooking. And what did it go back to? The oppression of his people. Just like everything here, it's inescapable. Esau always has that guilty conscience wherever he goes. All right, I'm gonna play a couple more. I'm gonna get some scriptures, but I just want to, you know, we gonna start cooking. It says, lady turns on her Google Translate at the nail salon. Let's see what the Asians got to say about us.
Lấy đồ ăn ra sao hè cho nó ăn. Giờ nó quen với cái lợi cảm giác là ta là Lấy bữa khổ, lấy tốt. Vợ chồng tốt, đỡ phí.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Now, if this is real, you know, it said some stuff there on that phone. You know, said something about food stamps. You know, fell out the purse, baby daddy in jail, all that good stuff. You know, certain people do be playing skits, but if this is real, then you know, potentially, you know, they was clowning her. You know, so imagine, you know, you go to get a service done. These people are making their wealth off of you having your business with them, and at the same time, they don't like you, and they prey upon you. This is, we're under these curses, y'all, and one of the things, and we already hear in Psalms, good, one of my go-tos, one of the ways that we know we're under the curses and that we're in the land of our captivities, right here, what's something that they do? Psalms 44:13, thou makest us a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and a derision to them that are round about us. Thou makest us a byword among the heathen, a shaking of the head among the people. We have become a byword. People scorn us. They reproach us. They do not acknowledge nor call us by our holy name. They call us by names that are derogatory, insults to our persons, y'all. This is one of the ways that we know that we are in captivity. And notice this is, hey, I should start
Thou
at
hast
verse
given us
11. Excuse me. Verse 11, thou hast given us like sheep appointed for meat, and hast scattered us among the heathen. Right. We are among the heathen, suffering this reproach. Once again, another way that we know that we are the Israelites. Hosea 8:8, one of my go-tos. Israel is swallowed up. Now shall they be among the Gentiles as a vessel wherein is no pleasure. So we've been swallowed up by the heathen, and they don't like us. A vessel of no pleasure. They use us like you would a tool, like you would a cup, a wrench, a doorknob, but they have disdain for us. And since they have the power over us, that allows them to keep us in a subservient position. Because not liking you is one thing, but if we have more power than you, then that's, you know, that's just, nigga, too bad, too sad. But if for someone to not like you and to have more power in this world than you, now what they can do is oppress you. And as us the oppressed, hey, what does it say in Ecclesiastes, y'all? What all we can do is just be mad about it. But you better not say nothing, and you damn sure better not do nothing. Ecclesiastes 10:20. Curse not the king, no, not in thy thought, and curse not the rich in thy bedchamber. For a bird of the air shall carry the voice, and that which hath wings shall tell the matter. Right, so you speak out, it'll be revealed. And now this right here, you know, this is just showing you, when you're on that lower position, y'all, you don't have the ability to speak out against those over you. Because when that word gets up to the top, you're gonna suffer. And in this world, we suffer, y'all. We fucking suffer. Son of a fucking bitch. I hate when I was only off it for like 2 seconds, man. So lucky, y'all. Let me come back here. I got more clips. You know that. All right. These next two I'm gonna play. The government, the United States government, set up by these good white Christians, oftentimes also partake in our oppression, along with the people. Why? Because they have the power to do so, and they don't like us. Why? Because they're the Edomites and we're the Israelites. The so-called white man is the biblical Edomite, the enemy of the true Israelites, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We're not playing the victim. You made us the victim.
They dropped a bomb on our family. They locked us up for 41 years for something we didn't do. Janet Africa's 12-year-old daughter, Delisha, was one of 11 people killed in the 1985 bombing targeting the Black liberation group MOVE. She was told that her child's remains had been turned over to relatives, but all this time, those remains have been at the University of Pennsylvania's museum. Museum workers found
Y'all, imagine if the police killed some of your family members, your children, right, and went and threw their body in the fucking museum. Just think about it for 10 seconds. Like, what type of twisted people are these? Right? And if, I'm assuming y'all are familiar with the Africa bombing, right? Was that out there in Philly? This group of which were not Africans, but it was these, group of Jakes, black people who, they live different, and some sort of false accusation happened, and the police came in there and basically SWAT bombed, raided, and killed their ass, and imprisoned the rest of them, straight up.
On Tuesday as they were conducting inventory.
Things that we heard that they did to our family's remains are horrifying.
In 2021, the University of Pennsylvania admitted to keeping the bones of at least one victim. There was also a box of remains discovered at the City of Philadelphia's medical examiner's office. Remains of victims were also being used at Princeton University. One by one, they're being returned to families who lost loved ones, including Janine Africa, whose son was one of 5 children killed in the bombing.
This is just an act of vengeance and hate.
Penn Museum released a statement that says in part, quote, confronting our institutional history requires ever-evolving examination of how we can uphold museum practices to the highest ethical standards.
To trust them don't make no sense.
The recent discovery once again.
To trust them doesn't make any sense. And that's our viewpoint with it. And you white Christians, you Jesus freaks, you're not ever there's no amount of you telling us to love Jesus that can erase the history of what your people have done to us throughout the world and in this country. We would be a damn fool to trust you and your white Jesus. You can take it and shove it.
Again, reminding this family of tragedy.
It's just no way that they could drop that low to do that to children's remains.
And they sure did. And it's the whole situation behind it, right? And hey, certain people in the city, they were complaining about them. Apparently, they would stink. They didn't wear shoes. They was on some sovereign type shit, right? Which is, our apostles, they've taught us better than that. But they don't do it to other groups. You have other nationalities of people who live in this country, and they still choose to heavily practice their customs and not really intermingle themselves with their neighbors. They don't get bombed out. East Indians stink and live crazy. They don't get bombed out. Asians come here, they don't even speak English. Eating dogs and cats out the alleyways, they don't get bombed out. Why do you get bombed out? Because you're a nigga and they don't like you. That's why.
Everyone that was in the Black Panther Party kind of understood it was a given that we would have wiretaps, that we would be followed, that we would be harassed, we'd be locked up, that we would even be beaten by the police.
In the winter of 1969, law enforcement agencies launched efforts to undermine an attempted coalition between the Black Panther Party and the Blackstone Rangers.
Law enforcement agencies. So this was government sanctioned and allowed. And now, we don't, support the BPP, right? Some of their actions, we don't have any connections to it. Nevertheless, this was a group of people standing up for rights for black people. And what did the United States do to them? Completely destroyed them, right? Under your mans, who? From the directive under J. Edgar Hoover, that fucking demon, living, breathing demon.
Chicago gang.
The Panthers were pursuing an ideology that said we need to take these young minds, this young energy, and turn it into part of our movement in terms of black liberation and the rest.
And they couldn't have that. If the so-called gang members and criminals would have been persuaded to leave their criminality and to join a movement in the liberation of their people, that would have caused real problems for the status quo. That's why Esau made sure to divide and conquer, to break it up. It wasn't because they didn't want niggas getting too powerful. That's just as plain as day. So they would rather there be gang banging and violence, so that they have a reason to come out and kill you niggas, rather than, you know, all the gangbangers that existed today, y'all. They could have potentially never, you know what I'm saying? Could have potentially never existed. Would have been preoccupied with actually being, you know, some halfway decent. But nope, Esau did his thing.
And I saw a very purposeful, intentional effort on the part of the police department to keep that head from hooking up to that body. It was like, you know, do not let this thing become a part of what could ultimately be a political movement, because that's exactly what it was.
FBI agents wrote an anonymous letter to Jeff Fort, the leader of the Blackstone Rangers, warning Fort that the Panthers have, quote, a hit out for you, unquote. The Bureau knew that the information was false, but believed that Fort might take retaliatory action against the Panthers. Meanwhile, city officials announced a crackdown.
The United States government sent an erroneous letter to a gang leader to persuade him to an act of violence. This is how espionage, sabotage. If you still believe that this country has your best interests in mind as a Negro, Latino, Native American, you're a fucking fool.
On gangs.
Did you say that street gangs can do no good? Is that what you would say?
No, I wouldn't say that. I think that the energy of youth properly directed could be a tremendous betterment, could lead to a tremendous betterment of our city and the individuals' progress themselves. I'm complaining about the misdirection. I'm complaining about the fact that 620 out of 693 shooting victims are black themselves. And I think that's a...
So they're a hypocrite. He's sitting here doing this little speech, but you're the people who misdirected them to keep them on that negative path, as you called it, when they were trying to bridge to a positive path. They're liars. I got a scripture for this too, but they're liar demons.
Tragedy. That is where black genocide is occurring here.
The Chicago police expanded their...
In which, you know, we're not excusing our people's wickedness. Our people are out here acting a damn fool. That's a part of the curses, right? Niggas do kill each other in absorbent amounts. But once again, who gave them the tools and who pointed them at each other? Esau Edom. So you're gonna have to suffer for that. And they like to pretend like they're not the puppet master in the shadows.
Anti-gang campaign to include the Black Panther Party. In late May, Fred Hampton was sent to prison. He had been convicted on a charge of stealing $71 worth of ice cream bars.
We tried to develop negative information to discredit him, just like we did everybody else. We, meaning the FBI, I tried to come up with signs of him doing drugs or something, and never could. He was clean. He was dedicated.
That's that mole. This is the, you know, you had that movie Judas and the Black Messiah. This is the guy the role was based off of.
Private conversations.
And shortly after this documentary, he killed himself.
With him. We got along pretty well.
While Fred Hampton was in prison, a police raid on the Panther office turned into a shootout. 5 policemen and 3 Panthers were wounded.
They did it.
After they got the brothers down, they went back up there and the fire started.
Nobody was up there except the police when the fire started.
So that's all we really needed. I just wanted that first part. You see that they purposely, you know, here it is, Esau, he'll call us, you know, criminals and lowlives and all that. Well, when the criminals and lowlives is finna change their life and turn it around, you stop that from happening. So who's the real criminal? What that goes back to, hey, let's get this Jeremiah. Y'all, all these heathen, they do all these things to us, then they like to pull their hands back to try to get away from the blame. Jeremiah 50 and I'm gonna start at 6. It says, my people have been lost sheep. All right, we've turned from the way of following Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. It says, their shepherds have caused them to go astray, false leaders. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place, right? So we've turned to every other people rather than turning to Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. These hills and these mountains. We've gone to every other avenue, idols, heathens, right, to fix this situation, and it's not the proper fix. The fix is Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. And what do these heathens say, who have us in their possession? Verse 7, all that found them have devoured them, and their adversaries said, we offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even Yahweh, the hope of their fathers. Devious sons of bitches. We didn't do anything wrong. All they do is kill each other. So what do you say? 620 out of 690, some percentage of the black youth are killing each other. We didn't do anything. We just wish our black youth would. Motherfucker. You keep letting the gangbangers out of jail so they can go out and commit more crimes until they commit a certain amount of crimes. Then you'll actually, keep them. They're demons and they're liars, y'all. They're demons and they're liars is what they specialize in. Oh my goodness. It's lucky, y'all. I don't know, I clicked off just for a split second and maybe it'd be fucking off. Let me get the next set of clips. Let's start with this one, right? It says the Smith family has owned 600 acres of land for over 100 years, and a judge just ruled a railroad company could seize their land. This is nothing new. I've done, I don't know how many videos, black farmers, black land, it gets took by Esau Edom, so-called white man. Well, why don't y'all been here all these hundreds of years and y'all don't have or own anything? Yeah, because you keep stripping us of it. You keep eminent domaining us. It says Blaine and Dwayne Smith are fighting to protect their family's 600-acre property in rural Sparta, Georgia, after a railroad company seeks to seize it through eminent domain. I didn't even read that. You can't make this shit up, man. I didn't even read that part of the article yet, but come on, man. How come y'all don't need no land that the Rothschilds own, or you don't need none of Paris Hilton land, or none of you know what I'm saying, y'all? These Edomite families, you just need our land. It says after says the proposed rail spur would cut through their land, passed down from Blaine's grandfather in the 1920s, and disrupt their peaceful life, despite a court ruling in favor of the railroad. Wow, the Smiths are determined to keep their land, calling it their legacy. We'll fight till we can't fight anymore, Diane says. Their fight isn't just about land, it's about preserving generational wealth for their children. But guess what? They don't want you to fucking have any. That's why they do these things, and that's why we don't have anything. This is just one of many families caught up in this, just another casualty. And it really doesn't matter how much kicking and screaming you do. Unless you straight up have the ability to wage advanced warfare upon them, then there's nothing you can do, and this is not our kingdom. So eventually the same thing happens that always happens. They show up to make a final deal, they sell you pennies on the dollar, and they take off and get even richer while you lose everything and have to go find somewhere else to live. It's the common theme, same song and dance every time. And who always loses out? Us. All right, another clip right here now.
I was leaving for work today. I had pulled around the corner over there, and he snowblowed snow into my car. And I just got out to make sure everything was okay. It wasn't dented and everything. And he walked up to me, started calling me a cunt, a bitch, all this. And then when my boyfriend had walked over there, he had got scared of my boyfriend and pulled his gun out from his back and held it to the side, pretty much threatening us.
So you might say, Malak, what does this bright-eyed white bitch have to do with us? Well, we're gonna take a look. This is out here. This happened out here in Michigan, out here Dearborn area. This is real close. I don't know if the guy who did it, he's either Edomite, a white dude, or Arab dude. Either way, they don't like us. But you come to the comments, y'all, and what do you see? Her boyfriend was black. What does this got to do with anything? What do we got to do with anything? A dude blew some snow on her car. She got out to make sure there was no damages. Don't know if maybe she cursed at him. She may have just got out and looked, not even said nothing to him, just looked at her car first. He started getting belligerent. Boyfriend, he's coming to check up, defend his woman, make sure ain't nothing happening. dude pulls a gun on him. What does him having to be black have to do with anything? You want to know what they got to do? Because they hate you, nigga. They hate you all the day long. And you were one of they, little pretty white bitches. Oh, fuck you. That's good then. Right now, if she was with Chad, the star quarterback, it'd be world national news. Dudes getting sued, going to jail, but her boyfriend's black. Oh, she's a traitor. Right? This how they do, y'all. Even when it's got nothing to do with us, they make it about us. See, look, trashy snow. See? Apparently she's 17. Somebody had said what her boyfriend was in his 20s. Let me see. Where is this at? Like, what do we got to do with it? Oh, somebody says all the more reason to then. See? So because her boyfriend's black, all the more reason to mistreat her. Why? Because she's a race traitor. She's smuggling that black pipe, making it disappear. So y'all, even when we not doing shit, you're still the enemy. You're still the enemy. At all times, they hate your guts, no matter what you do. Yeah. And in the state of Michigan, 17 is the legal age, so dude ain't doing nothing wrong. If she's actually 17, they don't have no. I don't know if maybe somebody knows the chick or something. Actually, I thought I saw her leave a comment on here. She's young, but ain't nothing illegal going on about the relationship. She's of legal age in the state of Michigan, but because her boyfriend's black, right? Dude gets a gun drawn on him, and she's just a little trashy, a little hoe, right? So I just wanted to show y'all that. And of course, there's, motherfuckers, was probably yelling and screaming on both sides, but what does the boyfriend's nationality have to do with it? Everything. Why? Because they hate us. They absolutely hate you, y'all. They hate every ounce of you. Let me get this.
If you a black person and you mad at the Latinos right now and you saying they need to go back to their land, they came here illegally, and you just treating them how white people would treat them, you need to check yourself. And I'm going to tell you why. First off, black people and indigenous people been oppressed together by the same people for over 400 years. Secondly, it was a time where black people was looked at as illegal immigrants. And thousands of us fled the South to go to Mexico. Why? Because the Mexicans were accepting black people. And not only did Mexicans accept thousands of black people, but they outlawed slavery. So when slave masters...
Hey, and this is true. You had I can't remember his name, man. That president from back in the day. He let us in. He gave us sanctuary. But even still, y'all, well, this guy, what he's saying is facts. But you still have niggas that don't like Northern Kingdom and Northern Kingdom that don't like niggas, right? And even in the comments, when I went to the comments, they were expressing that. Somebody was like, "Yeah, you right, but Mexicans don't like us, bro." So here it is. We're the same people. We've been oppressed in this land, but they have us turned against one another. Further curses. The Northern Kingdom, they're catching some of their hell right now, and their own brothers is making fun of them. Just a, shitty situation.
To get these black people, Mexicans said you're not gonna touch them, and they literally fought and shed blood to protect us. Like, they literally lost their lives and got hung with black people when they did not have to do it. They didn't tell black people to go back to the South. You bring in crime. They didn't tell black people to go back to Tennessee and Kentucky. You stealing all the jobs. But instead, they showed solidarity and they stood with black people when we needed it the most. And guess what? They need us more than ever right now. They being told that they illegal in a land that literally belongs to them. ICE is literally trying to lock these people up. They are modern day slave catchers. That's why here in the ISUBK, we keeping the tradition.
Oh, shit. It's an ISBK dude. Hey, I'm out off that one. Yeah, we're going to bounce right there. Oh, that's funny as hell. Oh shit! I'm sorry, y'all, but hey, you know he was saying some good stuff there in the beginning, up till he said all that. But just showing you, hey, and we're here in Jeremiah, right? Oppressed together. That's another way that we know that we're the Israelites. Two peoples brought to this same continent and enslaved by the same person, mistreated by the same person. It's not a coinky dink. It's not a coincidence. Jeremiah 50 and 33. Thus saith the Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. And that's what we're dealing with. So these people, they've taken us, and at the same time, you know, they mistreat us, they beat us, but they don't want to let us go because they get profit off of us, y'all. They make gain off of us. And this clip right here, I'm gonna play. When other nationalities and people come here, they tell them to basically watch out for us, you know, to don't befriend us. Now this clip is gonna be focused on people coming from Africa, which some of them are Hamites, so fuck them. But brothers and sisters who come over from west part of Africa who are Israelites, you know, they're in the world, so they're still of the mindset, you know, they're gonna do what the white man tell them. If white man tell them, look, if you want to get these benefits and set up a business and go to school, you better be mean to the American Negroes, and that's what they're gonna do. So let's let this play.
When you get to America, you have to understand America is a system. The first day you enter in America, it's literally having someone on your shoulder saying this, hey, you see this black American kid? He looks like you.
And brothers have used a video some years ago, man. It was a lady, I think she was East Indian, but she was describing the same thing. When you first come here, like in that passport room or wherever in the airport for motherfuckers that fly in here, they straight up tell them not to befriend American blacks, like straight up.
He talks like you. He even has the same hair as you, but Charlie, he no be you. You see, look at him. He's shooting guns. He's wearing his pants this way. Oh, look at his hair. You're from Ghana, royal family, Ashanti culture. This is not you. And so the moment, as soon as you're at that airport, you disconnect. Oh, that's not me. So whatever you see him, he's suffering with, you talk from day one, oh, that's not you. Don't let the color, fool you. That's not you. Now, what you don't know is this. That same man that met you there has gone to that same black guy in America. Hey, Charlie, you see this African guy? He's not the same color hair as you. He has the same texture. But he's not you. Look at him. He's swinging on trees. Look at his stomach. He can't feed his people. Every negative thing about Africa, they will tell him. So he says, I'm not that neither. So the moment you land in America, you're like this. Separated. You are separated. The system is built.
Yep. And now Ghana, you have plenty of our people in Ghana. And like I said, you know, we're not Hamites, so we're not teaming up with Hamites. But once again, divide and conquer. The tactic of Esau Edom. That's how he gets down, y'all. And he has the entire world against you. It's Black History Month, but everybody hates you. So what does it mean? Did he get you anything? I don't think it did. Hey, I really got one more clip, man. Just wanted to highlight all this. And really, you know, just applying for all the tribes. Northern and Southern Kingdom. We're hated. You know, there's Indigenous People Day, there's so-called Cinco de Mayo, all that shit, but it don't mean nothing. And what I just learned recently, Cinco de Mayo Cinco de Mayo is for the tears. Come to, you know, somebody get in the comment boards, correct me if I'm wrong. Apparently, like the actual indigenous, you know, real Northern Kingdom, they don't even really give a fuck like that. Apparently that was for the terror so-called Latinos, you know, trying to get their little liberation, because the real Mexicans, they're still mistreated regardless, right? Just throwing that tidbit in there. All the tribes is catching it. It just happens to be today's focus. We're dealing with the darkies. Next clip. Here we clip, but here we are.
Did you know that there was a massacre? Did you know that there was a large-scale massacre? Did you know that there was a large-scale massacre against black soldiers here in the U.S. during World War II? In 1940, 8,000 construction workers built Camp Claiborne, a massive...
During World War II, not after, not. Let's wait to finish this war to mistreat these niggas. Let's mistreat them in the middle of war.
military complex in Louisiana. The camp was a boom town, once home to 500,000 people. While the U.S. prepared men to fight abroad, for many black soldiers, the fight began at home. On January 10th, 1942, barely a month after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, black soldiers visited Alexandria, the closest city. Some 3,000 black Americans were enjoying Lee Street, named after Robert E. Lee, in an area dubbed Little Harlem. Chaos ensued when a white woman accused a black soldier of walking in front of her car. A white MP then fired at a black soldier. Many black soldiers started protesting because of this incident.
This massacre began because a Negro male walked past a white woman's car. Something so miscellaneous. And now bodies start hitting the floor, y'all. This is the history of these people. A legacy of evil.
Soldiers were unarmed because they were not allowed to leave the camp with weapons. White soldiers and local police had an arsenal and began firing indiscriminately at black soldiers and civilians. They even deployed tear gas. Although black soldiers were the victims, military commanders blamed them and exonerated white officers. No one was ever arrested. Local newspapers praised the military. One newspaper claimed that no one died and highlighted that a white state trooper suffered a hand injury while attacking a black soldier. Although the military said no one was killed, multiple eyewitnesses confirm otherwise. The Afro-American, a black-owned newspaper, launched its own investigation and confirmed deaths that were corroborated by white officers. The entire area was quickly cordoned off, and Alexandria became off-limits to black soldiers. Lee Street and Little Harlem would never regain its former status. The history was kept alive by the Buffalo Soldiers Motorcycle Club, one of the largest black biker organizations in the country. They place a wreath every Memorial Day to honor the victims. And this history is still being unraveled. Dr. William Simpson, a local historian, received an extremely detailed anonymous letter with the location of a mass grave. Excavation of the site is now underway. The military has never acknowledged the massacre. Camp Claiborne was deserted in 1946, the Ritz Theater was demolished, and Lee Street remains neglected. There isn't even a Wikipedia page for this massacre. One survivor summed it up this way: whenever anybody says, "Remember Pearl Harbor," I will say, "Remember Lee Street." Did you know this?
Did y'all know this history? These motherfuckers don't even have a wiki page on it. That's they do wickedness and they cover up so much more of it. So the little things that we do know, y'all, it's just because of how substantial it was. They've done a lot more evil that we simply don't know about. And when we know about it in the kingdom of heaven, when we have those new bodies, we're going to put more hell on these motherfuckers. And that's something else that Esau loves to do, is under-report. He loves to over-report our issues, but he heavily under-reports, skews, and straight-up lies about the evil things that he does to people. Oh, we only killed... they'll say the Tulsa, Oklahoma, that one happened. Oh, only, only 20-some people. Nigga, you burnt down entire town. You burned down entire blocks of houses. They're habitual liars. They're ashamed of what they did. So it's Black History Month, but guess what? Everybody hates you. Everybody hates you, y'all. Come on, man. So I'm gonna end it with this one. Let me go back to that Psalms 44. Actually, this is the condition that we find ourselves in, y'all. We're in the fucking belly of hell, getting tossed to and fro, waiting on our Lord to restore us. Psalms 44 and 22. Yet for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are counted as sheep for the slaughter. Straight up, left and right, tossed to and fro, treated like absolute dog piss and shit. Told to get over it. Told, just leave. all this and all that. Well, there's going to come a day where Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai avenges us, and they're not going to fucking like it. But we are. So that's it. Let me give all praises to Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rakakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all the elect Akim Wa Akwath, learning and teaching of truth and sincerity. Shalom.